today's video, I'm going to teach you how to do a carnivore diet without wrecking yourself, so check out my beginner's guide. Welcome everyone to my RV corner. My house is almost done and I will start showing videos, but let's get into the subject of how to start a carnivore diet. First thing I want to say is I am not anti-carnivore. I am anti making everything sound easy or thinking that someone can do the carnivore diet forever. But with that said, it does have a lot of benefits. So what are they and how do you start the carnivore diet? First thing you want to do is learn everything about ketosis, because you can't just eat a bunch of meat. You're going to drain your glycogen storages within the muscle, and then you're not eating carbohydrates, and that puts your immune system under stress because you can't get quality energy from just meat. So this priming concept of eat as much protein until you're satisfied is very dangerous, because a lot of people, they're afraid of eating fat, and so they use lots of protein, copious amounts of protein, to fill that sensation of satiety. But really, doing a carnivore diet is about high fat and ketosis. Once you're in ketosis, now the true double whammy of cutting out anti-nutrients in plants and having a good source of energy, the body can now start to heal. But the caveat is carnivore should be done only for a limited time. I've done several videos explaining why it is unnecessary to do carnivore forever. Carnivore diets are the ultimate diet because you're going to get rid of all the anti-nutrients that might be inflaming you. But the goal isn't to get rid of the foods that inflame you. The goal is to fix the broken gut and body that became inflamed, not from plants, but from poor sleep, heavy metals, plastics, stress. There are tons of factors: antibiotics, pharmacology, pharmaceuticals. A lot of things can irritate the gut, being out of a circadian rhythm. Once you have identified and gone down that rabbit's hole, figuring out what actually created that leaking gut or that toxic bucket fill-up exposure, you deconstruct that first. You can't just cut out all the plants. They have a lot of benefits to them, or else people wouldn't be using things like milk thistle for your liver and turmeric and other said things like citric acid, malic acid to break down sludge and stones that might be forming. So no, plants are not just out to take you off this planet. There are several benefits, like the high amounts of potassium, tons of nutrients, vitamin K or vitamin E, monounsaturated fats. Some people might benefit for the vitamin E and the monounsaturated fats that you get in plants like avocado, high in potassium. Some people literally have issues with high uric acid levels or high B12 or zinc or iron. Some people have low stomach acid. So priming and eating as much protein as possible can actually harm a lot of people, and especially the people with electrolyte issues, and they cut out all the plants that are hydrating, helping hydrate, especially starches, hydrate the cell, cutting it out, and then people do not know how to balance their electrolytes. Often in my comment section, you're wrong. You're just wrong. These people are so blind and clueless because that's their argument. This dietary measure, which is amazing, has become a cult. So how do we do a carnivore diet in a safe manner? Cut out all the starch, all the fruit, no honey, because you cannot get into ketosis while eating any of these things that are going to spike your blood sugar. That includes overeating too much protein. I know people try to point me the directions of people who say that eating too much protein does not spike blood sugar, but because I have worked with so many people who are using a glucometer, you see a definite high spike in blood sugar when consuming too much protein. Another thing that you want to consider is making sure you have enough potassium, magnesium, and drink enough water. You also want to check to make sure if you have any gallbladder issues, sludge, stones, a tight gallbladder. You want to make sure that you've got enough pancreatic lipase. You want to make sure that you've got movement in that upper trunk. People are like, well, how do you know? I'll do a part 2. Okay. Once you've gotten all your ducks in alignment, you've got rid of the fruit and the starch, and there's no refeeding, and you're not drinking coffee, and there's no alcohol, there's no honey, and you're eating high fat from animals, and then you've got the protein allotment, the high quality protein, and the circadian eating schedule. Now we can start. First thing you want to do is make sure your life is ready for this dietary measure. Then you want to eat 5 times a day in the beginning. 5. Because a lot of people have blood sugar dysregulation, and some don't. But taking that protein and breaking it up into smaller meals means that your body has to do less work, less caloric acids, less protease, less of an insulin response to break down said food. Then you can get in fat throughout the day to slowly train your body to develop the enzymes to actually break down fat and convert it into ketones via the liver. When you're eating big, huge plates of food that have butter and fat, a lot of you guys who are fasting and eating, which is another thing you shouldn't do, eating twice a day, you're so hungry by the end of the day, you just pound down this meat, you don't chew it properly. You spike your blood sugar, you spike your insulin, and you are not healing at the rate that you potentially could. So split your meals up into 5. 3 main meals and tiny bites throughout the day. It's not like a meal. It's something to help stabilize the blood sugar because you're not eating too much to spike the blood sugar and spike your insulin. Make sure that you plan your meals according to your lifestyle. For example, if you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because you want to hit that gym at 5, and so you go and you get up at 3 and then you break your sleep cycle and then you go to the gym and you work out really hard, and then the clouds are coming across and the light is changing, and then you get home and you take a shower and you have that first meal at 9, that won't work. Even though for someone else who's getting up, let's say at 7, 9 isn't the worst, or even at 8, but getting up at 3 and going all of those hours put your body into a state of gluconeogenesis to stabilize blood sugar. And when your body's desperately trying to stabilize blood sugar, ketones go like this and glucose goes like this. And even though the anti-nutrients aren't bloating you, you're like, oh, this is so great. And even though you might have an insulin drop and a blood sugar drop in the beginning, over time you have a rebound effect and start feeling bad when you do not break things up and make your dietary measures according to your lifestyle. What would be the solution for somebody who does get up at 3? If your workouts are at 5, don't get up at 3, because you need to complete these cycles, like 4 to 5 cycles of sleep. I would get up at 4:30, eat an egg yolk with 1 or 2 tablespoons of butter, then hit the gym. Just something more easy to digest if you don't have a gallbladder issue, and then go to the gym. So you can tell this part of your brain, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, hey, don't go into this extra liver dump of glycogen because I'm putting something in my mouth. Sometimes the body goes into emergency mode when it needs energy. You don't want too much of an adrenal response, too much of gluconeogenesis, because you start going into a rebound effect of an inflammatory reaction, and there go the blood sugar swings. But you know what? I need to do a part 2 because this video is getting too long. There are so many amazing ways to start a carnivore diet, including, like I said, type of food, timing of your food, autoimmunity, gallbladder, and hydration. There's way more. I need to go into the electrolytes. That's a whole video in itself. Energy at 58, turning 59, and then in a year I'm going to be 60. How? How? My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. I need to go and hit the gym. We're having like 100-day heat. I'm in my camper, and it cools in spots. It doesn't actually cool everywhere. But I digress. Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. Of course, I run a course where you can learn how to transition from one diet to another if you don't know how. Like, for example, if you have difficulties with hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia, and carnivore makes your blood sugar worse, then you start off with carbs and slowly transition into a carnivore diet. If you're ready now to introduce plants that can help you with that prebiotic fiber to create butyrate, which helps the gut wall, how to transition if your body cannot tolerate fiber or any anti-nutrients from any plants, that is not good. Staying on a carnivore diet is not going to fix that gut. If you have a problem with anti-nutrients, you figure that problem out and address how you developed the issue with the anti-nutrients. Stop doing the things that created that issue, because it wasn't the plants. It was the weakened gut due to your lifestyle. And then slowly reintroduce these plants. So things like this I teach people how to do and how to build muscle and stay lean and mean. Time for me to get my butt out the door, even though it's 100 degrees outside, or 97 with like 99% humidity. That's real natural, isn't it? I know. Energy.